Good morning, everyone. This is One Sports Fans talking about the NFL preseason reactions from last night. I did try to record a video after the very long 49ers Raiders game, but listening back to the audio, I was just kind of I sounded a little too tired, so I'd rather not put that out. So I was just kind of no, I'll just wake up in the morning and just re-record it. So yeah, first up in the games we got Jaguars versus Falcons. Jaguars won 31 to Falcons 0. They held them scoreless, which honestly was a little surprising. I thought the Falcons would at least be able to get a field goal in. But other than that, it was overall kind of like a boring game. Jaguars basically just fucked them up the whole entire time. Just score after score after score. Just they couldn't really do much. Notable players for it was honestly Trevor Lawrence and Mac Jones. 21 out of 28 passes, 75% completion for 205 yards and 3 touchdowns is very good. And overall, just the running. 39 carries in total from the running backs outside of the quarterbacks for 196 yards and a touchdown. That's a lot of offense right there. A lot of offense. Dying. And for the Falcons, since they didn't really have a lot, I just kind of had to put in two players. I kind of feel like were noticeable. And it was Spencer Brown basically leading and rushing with 11 carries and 51 yards, and Donovan Watson 13 total tackles. Yeah, that was a lot. I mean, he probably was out there a lot anyway. So, because part of the way through, I kind of stopped watching for the other game, but I was catching here bits and pieces after I kind of realized that the Jaguars are going to win no matter what. And honestly, my only take for the game was really just the redemption of the quarterbacks, particularly in Trevor Lawrence and Mac Jones. Both of them have honestly playing better this preseason than their last regular seasons. I feel a little bit better from it. It's just now just more of a dry cough. That's honestly all it is. And particularly Mac Jones, 73% completion on his 52 passes with 3 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. Honestly, that's actually very good. Because you look at what Mac Jones was doing, he was making dumb mistakes, and also I think my mic kind of peaked a little bit. So audio listeners, I'm very sorry for that minor thing. I just saw all red on my little audio recorder. So yeah, no, that's the point. But basically Mac Jones and in the Patriots, yeah, he had a couple good seasons. He had some good seasons, but towards the end of it, he was kind of playing honestly trash. And just during his preseason, he kind of was showing yeah, there's a reason why he got drafted where he was. And I feel like he would be a pretty good backup to Trevor Lawrence because Trevor goes down. And honestly, I feel like it'd be more entertaining to watch the two of them kind of battle it out. And honestly, if they're both gonna play the way they've been playing, honestly, I think the Jaguars are probably gonna be closer to their ceiling than their floor. Honestly, if they're playing like this, I may have to kind of say they're probably more closer to the ceiling than the floor, in my opinion. Next game up is the Dolphins versus Buccaneers. Dolphin lost 14 to Buccaneers 24. This is basically a duel of basically the backup quarterbacks and fourth down conversions. Buccaneers, I think it had 3 for 3 on their fourth down conversions, and I think Dolphins went 2 and 4. I think I could be wrong. I think it's 2 and 4. I'm gonna double check that actually right now. Dolphins, Buccaneers. Looking this up. Da-da-da-da. Oh, they went 1 and 4 on their fourth down conversions. So pretty shitty, honestly, of the fourth downs. And that's also the main difference why they're able to kind of get some offense going with it. And from just the stats, kind of, it's Skylar Thompson had 19 for 27 passes for 190 yards and 2 touchdowns. Interception, however. He also had a nice carry for 10 yards. It was just kind of a thing where it's pocket collapse and he was just kind of bolt out. He kind of had to get out of there. Jalen Wright. I heard there was 4 Jalen's on the team. That's still pretty wild to think about. 4 Jalen's. But like, yeah, this Jalen had 7 carries for 36 yards. And Hayden Rucci, 5 receptions for 44 yards and a touchdown. Honestly, like not a bad game overall from the Dolphins. Next up is for the Buccaneers, Tyler Traskett, 17 for 24 passes for 141 yards and 2 touchdowns. Honestly, very good. Antonio Greer Jr. had the interception. He caught it, and he also had 3 tackles to go along with it. And Cody Thompson had 7 receptions for 45 yards. And honestly, just like the only take I could really like get from the game is just kind of like, who is the quarterback too on the Dolphins? And I looked up the stats. It was like, so Skylar Thompson had 360, 346 yards on 57.4% completion percentage with 61 passes attempted, 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Mike White, in his 43 attempts, had 179 yards with a 46.5 completion percentage. However, he has zero touch. However, he had 0 interceptions, but he has 0 touchdowns. And in my opinion, it's just go with Skylar Thompson at this point. Like he should easily just be like the quarterback too, because it's just kind of like he's been playing well, and it's like I know like Dolphins fans are probably feeling like, oh, like Skylar Thompson should be the QB2. And personally, I kind of believe in that. So yeah, no, like Mike White is still not a bad like quarterback for what he did in like his little like insanity runs. I just feel like that's a little over. I think kind of is. However, that's the point. Next game, the first draw. 49ers and Raiders both scored 24 points. Very close game that is for in terms of draw, and overall like very balanced. Because like there's like draws where it's like either both teams can score or both teams score a lot. And this is honestly like one of those games where it's just kind of like it just felt very balanced. Like the scoring of it and the defense played of it was kind of very kind of like not average, but like it kind of like balanced it out. It was very balanced in terms of like the game, and I kind of like enjoyed that. And I honestly did not expect that from like the Raiders. Honestly, my opinion. Notable stats. Brock Purdy and Josh Dobbs, both of them combined in their play and went 17 for 22 for 168 yards, a touchdown, and interception. Brock Purdy threw the interception, and Josh Dobbs threw the touchdown, and 3 rushes for 11 yards. It would have been like if I were counting like Brock Purdy, it would have been more for 14, but Josh Dobbs rushed 2 times, and it was like, oh, let me just get like tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Let me just lose some yards real quick. Jordan Mason had 8 rushes for 42 yards and a touchdown. And Jacob County, yeah, he's not the leading reception guy on the team, but like, no, like I noticed this like for every single game. This man is scoring touchdowns all the time. Like, like he's probably gonna be a really good like weapon to have for like the 49ers, I think. I know he's been like playing like pretty well, like what's up, but just like he's just been consistently just a touchdown guy. Like he just been scoring touchdowns no matter what. And it's like yeah, like he's only like 23 years old, and like yeah, he did get drafted to the 49ers, but honestly, he could probably like be like the QB. No, wide receiver like 3 or 4 maybe. Very good route running. Always is able to get like himself in the touchdown position. And honestly, I feel like if the 49ers were to try and Brandon Ayuk, he could not be a good replacement, but he could do some similar stuff to it. In terms of that route running and stuff like that. Raiders, Nathan Peterman and Carter Bradley, 21 for 40 passes for 277 yards. It was a lot. 2 touchdowns and interception. Ramel Kenton, 4 receptions for 76 yards. And Amari Gainer, 10 tackles. And honestly, my only take for this is where the fuck is Brandon? Brandon Ayuk hasn't played a single snap. He did show up to the game, however, so makes me feel like there's gonna be more of like they're have to work something out. However, it's just kind of like yeah, no, he still hasn't played a single snap. Like I know there's been trade talks all over the place, multiple possible suitors being like the Commanders, Steelers, and Patriots, and there's probably some other ones that I haven't really like delved into, but those are like the top 3. And also, my take is just like, just give Brandon his money. Like, really, just give him his money. Just why even like bother with it? Just give him his money. Because I understand, yeah, like you had to pay Mark Purdy and that stuff, but it was like either give him money or just finally trade him. And personally, if I were to trade him, I would honestly trade him for like a new wide receiver one, because Deebo Samuel is like so used as like a runner too, on top of his like catching ability, to the point where it's just like you can't really put him as a wide receiver one, like a true wide receiver one, because like it limits what makes him unique in that role. So it's just kind of like, honestly, I would just personally trade him for like maybe like a scary Terry from the Commanders. Like that's the only like good receiver you can really get, or like a Brandon, or either that, or like maybe like a couple like draft picks, kind of like replenish it. That's honestly what my opinion would be. And like yeah, no, like Brandon Ayuk, like even if he did get traded, like he had a really good time here in like San Francisco. So it's just kind of like yeah, that's probably gonna miss him on that team. They're fun. And kind of like the last thing, like Bears got more defense. We traded a 2025 sixth round pick for Darrell Taylor, the defensive end from the Seahawks. Good athlete, 6'4", like 270, I think. Pretty solidly built. He's a pretty good pass rusher, but he has an alright run defense at best. Like he's not like gonna be a game changer on it. However, I do see situations where I feel like they're gonna put him on like a third and long kind of setup group, or any sort of like long, like where it's like most likely gonna pass the ball. I can see him on those being like that sort of setup. Yeah, or I guess like more like kind of like a pass heavy teams like the Bengals. I assume they're gonna be very more pass heavy. I think probably teams like the what's another good example? Like that the Bengals are gonna be a really good example. I feel like the Vikings are probably gonna be a pretty good example of like a pass heavy team because they have Jefferson. Like that's also what I feel like. I feel like teams are gonna be like relying more on passes than like getting those additional like run yards. I think that's where Darrell Taylor is gonna shine. However, like he's not going to be like the game changer for us. I understand that from a complete unbiased perspective, of course, because I'm a Bears fan. And yeah, since I recorded today, I just kind of changed it to today's side games. So we have Steelers versus Lions, Ravens versus Packers, Rams versus Texans, Vikings versus Eagles, Chargers versus Cowboys, Giants versus Jets, and Browns versus Seahawks. So yeah, no, so probably step by like later tonight or today probably, and I will probably be talking about these games later, everyone. I will be heading off. See ya.